I can't breathe without you. I'm going crazy. I'm not able to think without you. It's been an hour since you've been gone.
Roll me, Mac.
What are some misconceptions about us as humans? To me, we value age over experience, right? And what I mean by we value age over experience is like because you're a kid, you don't know anything, or because I'm older than you, you don't know what I know. And I mean, I kind of grew up in a system like that, family, school, you know what I'm saying, surroundings, friends and all that shit. Like if you were the younger one of our crew, the lowest on the totem pole type treatment, and you very well may be more experienced with something. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that I grew up, just because these people are older than me, they might not have experienced what I've experienced in a sense of struggle, trauma, overcoming adversity. And then you have somebody that might be younger than you that might have been given, you know, silver platter, whatever they say, silver spoon. Like, yeah, they might have been given a silver spoon in life and haven't faced anything just yet. And they've had a solid support system to catch them if ever they were to fall into trouble. You know, and also, and to be honest, I don't think there's, I would want that for my kids. You know what I'm saying? To have that solid support system. I think that's the whole point of family, is to be there for one another. You know what I'm saying? Not to not have it and then boast about how you didn't have it. To me, it's victimizing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I didn't have this and I did it. I'll be the first to tell you, I victimized myself so much, man, especially when it came to family. You know, like, oh, I didn't have this. You know, my parents didn't do this thing or whatever. My brother didn't do this, and whatever the fuck you want to say. But no one owe you shit. It all boils down to that. Don't nobody owe Romy a motherfucking thing. So this life is just given. It's just cards dealt. I mean, the way that my parents grew up ain't the way that I grew up. But just because my parents are older than me doesn't mean they have more experience than me in a particular field with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, for our parents' generation, mental health, the fuck is that? You better take your ass to school and try to hear all that crying shit, because it was about survival. I'm very grateful that my parents provided a environment that I grew up in, that I could grow up and you know what I'm saying, and become a little bit more familiar with mental health and what it means. You know what I'm saying, as far as like us as humans. But because you're older than me doesn't mean you know better than me. And just because I'm younger than you, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean I know more about whatever's hip and shit. You might be into some shit that I'm not into. I don't know how many conversations I've had, people older than me or the same age, and they're talking about something trending going on in hip hop, and I'm lost in the sauce. I don't keep up with the shit. Not like I used to. And I think it's because I stopped trying to fit in. And I'm not saying they're trying to fit. I'm saying the reason that I was doing it, as I mentioned plenty of times, because I was trying to fit in with the people around me. I wanted to be cool. I was doing it for love, you know what I'm saying? To kind of get their approval, in a sense. You know, I was people pleasing in hip hop form, music form, movies form, whatever it was. I was trying to be included because I didn't want to be left out. I was afraid to stand out on my own. But like, just because they're, you know what I'm saying, our parents are older doesn't necessarily mean they know more about a particular subject or people. Forget the label, a parent. Somebody older than you, just because they're older than you does not mean that they have more experience in a particular field. And a lot of times, I know I grew up around people like you were meant to be seen, not heard. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't allowed to have a voice. And you wonder why certain kids are not able to have conversations with grown-ups. You know what I'm saying? Because you never engaged with them and taught them how to speak and teach them how to talk. And I know that's how we grew up. Like you couldn't talk when the grown. I mean, I totally understand not interrupting a grown person talking. But as far as having a conversation, you were outlawed. It was like, nah, take your little asses back there and play video games or something like that. But to be able to engage, I mean, I've seen kids that are like between the ages of 7 and 12 have the most insightful conversations with myself and others. And I'm like, man, it's light years ahead of what I was able to I was able to see growing up, like for our family, you know, and that's just, and it was only doing what was passed down. And again, it's just, you didn't know any better to do so. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at it as like, man, they fucked us up or nothing like that. What else could they give us? That's just the fact of the matter. And I think that's for anybody's family. You know what I'm saying? We might be privy to some shit that your family's not privy to. You know what I'm saying? And we have more experience in it. But is it really about the age, or is it more so about the experience? And I think that's the misconception that us as humans tend to go through. As far as believing that because I'm older, that I know more than you. But if I spent more time on a particular subject, now don't get me wrong, there's certain experiences that you have because you're older that you're able to pass on. Like that, for that regard, I don't think it's wise for kids to dismiss when your parents try to give you an account of what happened, because there's nothing new under the sun. But granted, you might be more experienced in something, like a particular subject that might have been going on for a long time. Like, I dare anybody older than me try to debate music with me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't born in the 60s. My parents were. I wasn't born in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't born in the 40s. My grandmother was. My grandparents were. But music-wise, I've been studying it all my life. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what the genre is, I was studying it because I love music that much. You know what I'm saying? So for me being born in 1985, I studied music. I just loved music. I really, you know what I'm saying? Like R&B, funk, soul. I say late 80s, definitely everything that we grew up with as far as hip hop goes. Like I'll say from 5th grade on. So 95, roughly, I'll take it even sooner than that. So a Doggy Style album. So 93 till about even past graduation. Let's call it by the time I got out of the Air Force. So 08. So about 1993 till about 2008, I can tell you a lot of things about hip hop. Shit I wasn't supposed to know much about. But just because somebody older than me, you know what I'm saying, who was living with all that stuff, doesn't mean they know the music better than me. They got different experience to apply to said situation, to the song maybe, just as much as like the music we listened to in high school. And now kids are listening to that now. They don't have the same experience when it came out the first time, but it doesn't mean that they don't know the music. You know what I mean? I hope that I explained that to the best of my ability, but I just truly believe there's a misconception that because you're older, you know more. You know what I'm saying? And we can learn so much from people that are just around us because you don't know the experiences that they've had. The people that have made the most mistakes have a lot to teach, and versus the people who are afraid to make mistakes. Like, you know what it's like to fall. The people that were afraid to try don't know what it's like to get up from failure. They're too afraid to fail. Therefore, they won't be successful. But you have to be able to fall, to fail, to fuck up, to make mistakes, synonym after synonym. But if you believe because you're older, like, no, you don't want to do that, you're going to mess up. And a child who doesn't know any better might listen to you. No, let them fuck up. Let them learn. As Les Brown likes to say, anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it. You know what I'm saying? That's essentially what he means. You know what I'm saying? Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. So who are we because we're older and we went down a route and it didn't work for us, meaning that it's not going to work for the youth? They very well might succeed at what we attempted to do. So what do? We open the door. You know what I'm saying? I might not necessarily become a success at what I'm doing, but who knows? My kid and the kids her, you know, and the people in her age group might make success doing what I've been trying to do. You just never know, you know what I'm saying? You gotta trust the universe, gotta trust God, gotta trust the universe, and we'll see how things go, you know, how things work. But I truly believe that we tend to value age over experience, and age is not, I'm not gonna say there's not times where age does matter over experience, but there are a lot of times where experience matters a hell of a lot, at least as much as age. You know, it overtakes the age aspect of it to me. But I'll say that the misconception I see about us as humans is that we tend to value age over experience, and it's not always the case. What ways does music and television distort our understanding of relationships? The toxic ass lyrics. I can't live without you. Can't breathe without you. I'm going crazy. I'm not able to think without you. It's been an hour since you've been gone. 1 damn hour. And I'm missing you like crazy. I got to have you. Like, you know, it's just so many different like lyrics that we've heard, especially R&B and pop records, NSYNC. I drive myself crazy thinking of you. All that pressure put on that individual. And you know what I'm saying? Because, and we don't think about this thing, but our brain doesn't know the difference. Yeah, we look at these lyrics, man, and we tend to, and we don't realize it, but it really does have that effect. Because I remember being a little kid and thinking, you know, I'm believing everything these lyrics are saying. And I'm feeling crazy about this girl. And I'm just trying to, you know, I'm pretty much making her responsible for my fucking happiness without knowing it. You know what I'm saying? And like the love that you think is love, but it's really the lack of love that you have for yourself, where you try to put your insecurities onto that person. And I know, especially growing up watching Disney films and like how they made us put women on pedestals. As far as like Aladdin, Lion, to get, you know what I'm saying, Jasmine. I know it's funny, like, what are we talking about Disney for? But I just want you to see like the misleading programming that happens for little boys like myself. And we grow up and we think that that's the way to get girls. That's the way to get women. Give them everything they ask for. Do everything that she asks you to do. Happy wife, happy life, right? But like, that is not the fucking case. Because I did it. I was certainly a countless number of young ladies that I had the pleasure of dating throughout my life, where before I knew what I knew now, as far as you know, the manosphere, masculinity, how to technically court a woman, how to stand up and be a man, not so much a boy with a mother in a relationship. And I had to learn to have a backbone, number one, have boundaries, have a frame. And I was just so desperate to be loved that I was willing to do whatever. I did what the movies taught me. All the Lifetime movies, all the fucking rom-coms where it's like, you know, you're running down the street trying to catch her before she get on the plane to tell her, please don't go, I can't live without you, and all this shit. And it's like understanding what it means for genuine burning desire, right? There is a difference, there's such a difference, I can say, and from experience, when a woman has genuine burning desire for you and when she just tolerates your ass. And you're unable to go back. You're unable to go back once you understand the difference and as far as what it means and what you had to do to get said way. You had to build yourself up. But if you're so busy chasing girls, like the music teaches us, the movies teach us as far as like how we should carry ourselves with women, whatever you're chasing is running away. You know what I mean? So what are we doing? What are we teaching our little boys? What are we teaching our girls, for that matter, that they don't have to do anything? They don't have to provide anything. They don't have to know how essential skills, one, for survival, to know how to cook, to know how to, you know, essential life skills. And all they have to do is get with a guy and he'll do whatever she wants. Literally. And what do you create? You create a narcissist. You create somebody who does not give a fuck about anybody else's feelings. And the only thing that matters is what they desire, what they want in said person. And you create people pleasers out of young boys. And these young boys, all they really want to do is whatever the woman wants, just to make her happy. And that's another thing that's confusing in movies and music, is that we can make someone happy. Never mind saying make a woman happy, making people, humans, believing that we're the ones that can make people happy. Well, now I can compliment your life. I can. I'm certainly capable of doing so. I am a compliment to your life. You know what I'm saying? If used properly, if appreciated, and you know what I'm saying, valued, I can definitely be a compliment to your life. But I'm not responsible for your happiness. And you're not responsible for mine. No matter what my inner child does to you, you are not responsible for my happiness. And vice versa. So when that wounded inner child comes out, ignore that motherfucker. And a lot of times we were taught that we had to respond to we didn't know it as wounded inner child, but we responded to when people were mad because we didn't do something that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? You're not responsible for another person's happiness. And music, movies, TV shows, you'll see the guy trying to, you know, like the holidays come by, and he's got to go out and get the most extravagant gift for the woman, and then she just show it with a little bag, you know, to give him or something like that. Or we've also seen in women's defense, we've seen where Martin tried to pull that bullshit on him and Gina's anniversary, and Gina hooked him up, and then Martin totally forgot about the anniversary, and he came with like I don't know, he tried to wrap up a candle because he forgot. But that's what I'm saying, in the programming, it makes it look like the guy is a bumbling fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? And the woman just cleans everything up. Home Improvement, same thing. Tim the Toolman Taylor knows how to build a fucking house, don't know how to carry shit together. Carl Winslow, Family Matters. He is a cop. A fucking cop for Chicago. Hello. You know what I'm saying? And for those who don't know, Chicago get real in a sense of violence and all this stuff. So you're telling me that he's mature enough and wise enough to be a cop out in the fucking city that can patrol the masses, but he's not able to patrol his own damn home, and that his wife has to do everything for him. That what you really want us to believe, you know? And like I say, programming, you know, it's just really like the programming that we grew up on. A lot of times, like you say, you look at Full House, You got Danny, Joey, Uncle Jesse, you know what I'm saying? And then they're looked at as like bumbling idiots. And here comes Rebecca, you know what I'm saying? Becky, Aunt Becky, to kind of clean shit up. Or DJ even, you know what I'm saying? Being like the mature one. And then let's take a step even further of how programming fucks us all up. Having us to believe that our children have more sense than we do when it comes to the Disney Channel. The Disney Channel is full of TV shows that show children being the voice of reason more than parents. And that shit is bogus. That shit is bogus. Now, I know that we just talked about age and experience, so fuck you. But what I'm saying is that is not the case. There's not a household. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some households where the children did raise the mother, but it's not ideal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not ideal. But this is the programming in which we saw, you know, that we saw growing up. It very well might still be going. I haven't watched Disney shows in a long time. It very well might still be the same. But there's, like I said, there's that programming to have us believe that your parent, and then you'll have like kids on there saying sarcastic shit to their parents. And you know what them kids do that watch that show? They try it. And some parents wish you would. Some parents wish you would say some wild shit. Like this whole thing of how kids like to say bro to their moms. What the fuck is this shit about? You know what I'm saying? Where you could bruh or whatever shit you, I mean, you want to be cool with your mom, and I get it. You want them to kind of, I've been there, tried to make mom say a whole bunch of dumb shit that I thought was cool. So I mean, I get it. I've been in the position. I've been on both sides of it, to where it's like you're trying to get your mom to be down with you, and you know, trying to get your parents' approval that you're cool, you're validated. You know what I'm saying? That I can be me, versus trying to be whatever they want me to be. And I can understand that. Like I said, I can appreciate that. However, we are not going to talk to parents as if they are our friends. I'm not a fan of that shit. Not at all. We can be respectful. We can say a little, you know, like something that's kind of cool, but bruh, no. Nah, you're not calling your mama no damn bruh. Yeah, your dad bruh. No, not at all. I'm not a fan of that shit. That's just me. But I digress. However, programming, TV, music, like I said, let's get back to music. Music will have you believing, again, that you're so incomplete without this person. And it feels good, you know, because you feel the emotion of it. But I don't find that to be healthy. I'll just say that. Like, there's a lot of songs that we grew up listening to in R&B, especially like when you go through a breakup and you play like 9th grade, Cisco, Incomplete, breaking up with whoever, you know, the individual. We're not put her name out here. But my girlfriend in 9th grade, I'm sitting in the house and just blasting Incomplete and Addicted on the album. You got the fucking Unleash the Dragon album. You know what I'm talking about. But like listening to Incomplete on repeat and just getting caught up in emotion, just feeling like your little 14-year-old ass know what you're talking about as far as love goes. You don't know that. I'm not dismissing myself. I'm looking back at myself. I'll speak solely on me. I won't say for any other kid or nothing like that. But me, I didn't have a clue what love was. A healthy form of it anyway. That's for sure. But like to have these songs, the Jodeci records, what is it? Tony Braxton, Breathe Again. You know what I'm saying? Unbreak My Heart. And so many other records that just exaggerate how tough it is to be away from this person that you love and you know what I'm saying, and value. I Die Without You, PM Dawn, which is one of my favorite records of all time. And it is, you know what I'm saying, like those songs, they're great to listen to, and it's nice to feel. Don't get me wrong. I understand it now. Like learning to feel emotions and shit like that. I totally get that. But as far as making someone responsible for your happiness. And when you go on, and it happens, when you spend enough time with someone, there is a form of, yes, dare I say, attachment that will form, an emotional attachment that comes about, but they're still not responsible for your happiness. So like when something happens, yeah, it takes time. It really does take time to kind of pull yourself away, especially if you started to develop those feelings. Now, sometimes you can just do a lot of things with people and you don't develop like anything, you know what I'm saying? But then there's that shit that creeps up on you and you don't even realize that you feel this way. And then somehow or another you get separated from this person, whatever it is, whether it's an argument, a breakup, moving, death, whatever, and you're not able to bring yourself together. And sure enough, we put on that damn music that makes us feel, and we believe it. We start to attach ourselves to the meaning of these lyrics, and a lot of those lyrics speak about unhealthy love. You know what I'm saying? And I love my music. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't listen to none of that shit. I certainly do. I just don't have. I do my best not to have the attachment to what the lyrics are telling me, so that I can carry on in a healthy manner inside my own mind. That is, because again, attaching yourself onto something, making somebody responsible for your happiness is, to me, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for me. I know it because I've done it for, like I said, many times throughout my life with relationships. There's songs that I just would not listen to because of that. I think one breakup had me listening to Amy Winehouse, Just Friends. I Wake Up Alone. A lot of just records that just have you like, oh, you on an emo shit, man. You're like a Drake fan. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just on some emo shit right now. That's what that is, and it's not, and it was an experience, I'm not knocking it because you don't get me today without going through that shit, the things that I did. It's just funny to look back at yourself and see yourself inside that moment. Lesson learned, right? Just lesson learned. But looking at music and looking at movies, TV shows, the programming in which they've programmed us, and even not just programming men, but programming women to believe a certain thing, especially like for little girls, someday my prince will come, as if women are helpless. And they're not. Women can do a lot of things. I don't believe men and women are equal by any means, and life will show that. That doesn't necessarily mean a better thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're just built certain ways. You know what I mean? We are stronger in a lot of areas where you're weaker, and you're a hell of a lot stronger than we are where we're weaker. It's a yin and a yang thing, and it's just understanding what all that means so that there's a balance. Understanding what that balance means. And I think I believe a lot of the programming that I know that I watched showed a lot of subconscious things, planted a lot of subconscious seeds in my mind as far as what I thought about relationships, what I thought about the world, for that matter. The whole thing, yeah, you can be anything you want to be when you grow up. Maybe. Maybe. It depends. It depends on what you put your mind to and how much work you're willing to do to get said thing. But no, not necessarily. And everybody don't want it. What you want, you claim you want it, but you just, like Eric Thomas said, you just kind of want it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be committed. There's one thing of being interested, and another thing being committed to a goal, a passion, And a lot of us are just interested, just interested. So as far as like being whatever you want to be, like I said, it really just depends on the family where you come from, the resources that you have, and your effort. Some people get it all and don't apply any effort based on the family that they come from. And some people have to apply effort to the things that they want. you know? So that's life. But those are some of the ways that I believe that music, television, movies have misconstrued the idea of relationships. Who are my favorite comedians of all time? Number one for me is comedian wise, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's number one. Martin Lawrence would be number two. I'd say Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx. I don't know if I said Jamie already, but Jamie Foxx. Who I really do like Ricky Smiley because he's classroom humor. Mike Epps, Bernie. I did like Bernie, but I like Bernie again for some validational reasons. Don't get me wrong. I thought Bernie Mac was very funny, but the reason I was liking him because everybody else was trying to like him. So I'm just being honest with myself on that shit. George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. I would catch them later on in life. I was too young to really appreciate Richard Pryor and Red Fox. Frank Caliendo, because I love impressions. So Frank Caliendo, Godfrey, Dean Edwards, and I'll even give it to Jay Farrell, especially being from our area of Hampton Roads and stuff like that. Like, I love some of his stuff. I think some was a reach. Ari Spears, for sure. Ari Spears has one of the best Tony Soprano impressions ever, as well as Bill Cosby. His Cosby is like uncanny. I truly do love his Bill Cosby. But I say those guys have probably affected me the most throughout my life. Definitely Martin. Martin, Eddie, I said Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock. Probably my favorite as an adult. My favorites were Chris Rock and I said Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. As a kid, definitely was Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence. But yeah, I would say those are my favorite comedians of all time. What's something your parents tried to teach you growing up that you understand now? I would say that my parents taught me that you don't need to buy that expensive bullshit. Growing up in a neighborhood where the day Jordans came out, almost all the children had them, but not I. And honestly, don't get me wrong, I like the way some of them look, but the only reason that I wanted them because they had them, not because I thought, like, man, I really want these shoes. It was just to fit in, you know what I'm saying? It was a validation item. It's like probably what's that shit? The Oculus, like Oculus probably within the recent, especially during COVID. Like if you were a kid in school and you were able to get an Oculus, man, you're able to play video games like, virtual reality video games, you probably thought you was hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a PS5 right when it came out, you was able to go to school and say, man, I played, FIFA, or I played Madden, I played 2K, Call of Duty, Fortnite on PS5. And they ran out of PS5s. Like, it was a validational item. But what I learned was that from them, especially now, is that that's just not important. It's really not. It's really not that important, man. I look at a lot of the fun times that I've had and the things that I remember about my childhood. Don't get me wrong, I was a spoiled little shit when it came to gifts and toys and stuff like that. My parents just weren't about to pay no fucking $200 for shoes. Not for me to fuck them up, because they go outside. And that's I would say is part of the lesson learned. Like, why are you buying these shoes? What would be the purpose of these shoes? Is it just for look purposes? You know what I'm saying? Okay, then save up and earn that. And that's what I learned from them. Like, a lot of things I wasn't able to get because I didn't have a job, right? But when I started working, I actually saved up to buy a PlayStation 2. Yeah, I saved up to buy a PlayStation 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you get old enough, you start asking for, you know, you grow up, you know, Christmas time comes around. At least for my family, it's like asking for like something for Christmas and shit. Now I'm starting to get the money to where I can do it. I'm actually taking my job seriously. I'm not getting a limited amount of hours. Like, when I first started working, I had like 10 hours in a fucking week. And my checks were, I mean, I probably would make more money selling lemonade in the neighborhood than what I was doing at actual McDonald's. But I had to mature a little bit more. I had to take myself a lot more seriously. And when I started taking this shit seriously, I'm starting to make bigger checks. My checks are coming in at like between $300 and $500. And I'm in high school, you know, $200 and stuff like that. So like, okay, so now I can save. You know, I pay my car insurance, which is what my mother taught me. She taught me to, you know what I'm saying, like, to do that. She was preparing me for the world, you know what I'm saying, and to stand on my own. I didn't realize that that's the other thing I was taught. I was taught how to survive, truth be told, for a lot of things. And I couldn't see it then. I did not know, why the fuck am I washing these dishes? Why am I taking out the trash? Why am I cutting grass? Why do I have to clean my room? You know what I'm saying? Like, various things. Why do I need to shower, you know, after being outside? You ever go into a teenager's fucking room? No joke. And it just smells like all to be damned. And I know how nasty my ass was. I used to be outside playing basketball from sun up to sundown. Come home and get in that nasty ass bed, bro. I look back at that shit like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, she would be on me about, you better go take a shit. My mom didn't curse. She would curse, like, you would really have to get mom pissed off to curse, but no, she didn't curse. So take a fucking shower, you know what I'm saying, after being out. And you understand that now, especially like if you're engaging with women, because you don't want to be with the funk. You know, she might want to do some work to you. She go down there and it smell like egg rolls. It's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't the egg roll. I mean, she wants your egg roll, but she don't want it to smell like damn egg rolls that's been out on the counter for a week. It's like, get your shit together. And I look at you know, those things, and I didn't realize, like I said, I could not fathom what was going on, but my mother was preparing me to be off the titty, like independent, in a sense. Part of it kind of made me hyper independent, you know, but yeah, it is what it is. But it taught me the value of earning something, like to buy something. I remember being young, and you know, you go to the grocery store with your mom, and everything you see on TV is what you're going down the aisle looking for. The cereal, just because that cereal had a dope ass commercial, you want to get the cereal, but you don't like the cereal. You get the fucking cereal. I don't know how many boxes of cereal my mother bought that sat in our little turnstile inside the kitchen, and I ain't touched them bitches. Was it Kix berries? Oops, all berries, Captain Crunch? And it was some other fucking cereals that sounded like a good idea, but I didn't like them shits at all. I was not about that at all. I was not a fan of the cereal choice that I made. And I don't know, mom spent countless money, us going to the commissary, us going to Food Lion, us going to Farm Fresh, you know what I'm saying, to get these items. And she did it for the simple fact that she loved me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I wasted it. But what she taught me, the value of $1. I couldn't understand why my father worked almost every holiday, right? We'll be there opening gifts, and my father's either coming in from work or he's getting ready to go out, or he's already left, for that matter, to go to work. And I'm just like, damn, man. It's like, a man must provide. A man must provide, and there's a lot of times where there's a lot of men that don't really get to have those moments with their families the way that they want to. And I couldn't understand it until I became an adult myself. And here I am missing holidays. Because of the job I chose. That's only on me. I'll admit that. You know, I got a job, paid very well, but I wasn't able to be there for a lot of special occasions. And it really fucked with my social life. I'm not gonna lie. It created depression, it created a porn addiction, it created a lot of issues within my relationships because I was constantly working and I didn't really have time off to create a social life. There were times where it'd be like my goddaughter's birthday party and I had to work, but my then girlfriend and her son was able to go to the party and represent, a representation of me. But it's not the same. It's like, you work your life away for how long? Till you turn 60, 65, and then what, you get to enjoy life for maybe 10, 15 years, Lord willing, however, depending on how well you take care of yourself. But I understood my father's mentality and what it meant to make sure that his family had what they needed. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that we could have worked on. Father to son, you know what I'm saying? But I'm damn proud, very fucking grateful the way that my father hustled and what that taught me about a man. Regardless of how you feel, you got to get up and take it to the motherfucking max, man. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna come with vices. And I think we all have our fair share of vices, and hopefully you choose healthier ones. But I got to witness a man get up and work just about almost every holiday, just to make sure his family, had what they needed, just to make sure his wife had the things that she wanted. You know what I mean? And when you're young, you don't understand these things. But again, as you get older, you experience things, and you have your complaints about your parents. But once it happens to you, then you see it. Like, you're able to see it. So when your kid starts to have their own gripes, questions, inquiries about you, and then it's like, I get it now. I totally get it. I totally understand it. And it becomes full circle. And I hope that, if anything, we can just get better at explaining these things to our children so that they can appreciate the lengths and the efforts. Don't get me wrong, no parent is perfect. Not by a long shot. No parent is perfect. But trying to give you the things that you didn't have. Now, for some that don't recognize the emotional shit, they're trying to get you material things. But a lot of times, it's the emotional shit that we want to pass on to our kids, teaching them how to manage their emotions, showing them what that means. And instead of giving them material things, because all we do is pass on our abilities to handle conflict, to be in conversation with people, communication skills, and it's not necessarily the best for us. You know what I'm saying? It creates conflict within our families, and we don't know how to talk to one another. We'll have disagreement about something, and then we won't speak for years. And by the time we get together, we don't even remember what the fuck we were not talking about. We're just not talking about it. And I believe that's truly just because we remember pain and how a person made us feel. Might not remember what you said, but we're going to remember how you made us feel. And we don't tend to, and truth be told, I don't think we avoid family. I don't think we avoid enemies or whatever. I think we're avoiding pain. I know for me, I'll speak for me. I believe I avoid pain a lot of times. And I'll take peace, man. I'll take peace. If you come with that chaos, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm tired of fighting in that regards. I avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. But I'm gonna get off topic. So let me just say thank you, number one, to my parents for the lessons that they taught me in ways that I did not know I was going to need until I became an adult myself. Very grateful for the lessons, direct and indirect, that they were able to give me. Grateful to my peers. Grateful to the rest of the family. You know what I'm saying? We all taught each other how to essentially survive in this world, and before we got out on our own, it was just us, you know? So very grateful to them. That concludes this episode. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed answering these topics. It's always fun to have that therapy session with yourself, and obviously those that watch, take time to watch it all the way through. Much appreciated. And yeah, go ahead, hit subscribe, hit like, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Share on your timeline. But as for Ask Rome, Romy Mac, I'm out. Good night, kids.